Hello! Today I'm making Pane Carasau, which is a Sardinian flatbread. It's also known as Carta de Musica, which means sheet music, because it's really thin and crispy. And here we go. It only has 4 ingredients, so it's more kind of, I think, in the kneading and the technique of rolling it thin and baking it. So here we go. Okay. I have yeast and goes in the water. Let it sit for a second. All right, mix the flour and salt and make a well. Okay. Fork. Making a well. Dip in the middle, and you can see this is already softened up, so I'll mix it and pour it into that well. Okay. Now with these kind of doughs, what you want to do if you have a well, you want to just draw it in from the edge into the liquid and start mixing it that way. And then the further you go out, the more flour you're grabbing, and then down into the middle a little bit, and then you'll start getting more cohesive dough. Okay, saying it should be a somewhat sticky dough. And usually there's a point where forks or other things just don't work as well, and I want to do this one by hand. I'm not going to grab the mixer, but it says to knead for 10 minutes. So I'm going to start getting this worked together. You can see it is really soft, nice. I'm actually just going to dump it out onto my slab. All right. This is the plastic stiff spatula. It's great for just getting those things out of bowls. So I still have some integrating of flour to do in here. But keep going. The more that liquid gets into the flour and starts hydrating it, the softer this is going to get. It has a lot of flour still, but it's amazing what happens if you just let dough sit and rest for 10 minutes even, and just let the water or the liquid just kind of be taken into that flour. This isn't actually a kneading technique that I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to get it all integrated. And then once I get a better dough, then I'll start doing, let's see which one. Yeah, it's a little firm, so I'll do this one. Roll it, turn, fold, roll, turn, fold, roll. Later on in the year, well actually, probably in the next couple weeks, I'll be doing softer doughs that have a lot more water and hydration, and so there's a different kneading method for that, because otherwise you would just be kind of smushing your hand into goo. So this is the best way for the more solid doughs, and then I'll show you the other one later. All right, I'm gonna keep doing this for a bit and I'll come back. And look how pretty. All right, so the next step on this is just to let it rest. So it's not proving or rising or anything like that. It's just going to rest, which lets the gluten strands relax, because this has to be rolled out really, really paper thin. So that'll make it a lot easier and it won't pull back when you're trying to roll it out. So I'm going to put it in a metal bowl since it's not having to rise. Learned recently that glass bowls are better because metal is too good at conducting heat, so it will rise unevenly because parts of it will be warmer because of the metal bowl. So I now use glass bowls for proving. So set him aside and let him rest for 20 minutes. Okay, so these have rested. I put a wet paper towel over the top so they stayed wet instead of getting a like a crust on them. So the moist nature of this dough is going to help it with rolling out to kind of stick to whatever we're rolling it out on. So it's going to help. Yeah, there we go. See, the gluten relax. It's still pulling back a little bit, but it's able to stretch now. Alright, not quite paper thin, but I'm wondering if I take this, yeah, I can stretch it out a little bit and it'll help get even thinner. And you can again let the gluten rest and it'll be much nicer in holding its shape for you. Right. Let that rest a little bit and we'll do that. I also, just for fun, pulled out my pasta roller. I thought, hey, that would be cool. And let's see. Okay. Okay, so it got a little bit stuck on the last part of it, but I gotta say, that's pretty good. You can see the light through, but it's pretty paper thin. And then I can just kind of put that back together a little bit, but gonna do a few more and then we'll put the first batch into the oven. So almost there. Okay, here we go. Ooh, got a little too toasty. That's okay though. This was the one I rolled out by hand. These, wow, those are crackers. Cool. All right, so just going to do it, since they are so thin, I probably don't need to do it quite as long, but it's really cool. All right, we're gonna do another batch and then let them cool and we'll try it. All right, here is the second batch. So this one's still got a little bit toasty, but you can see it's sturdy. And let's listen. Cool, okay, go. That's really good. Really simple ingredients, but this is good. I think for these next ones, I'm going to do the thickness at 7 instead of 8, so it's just a tiny bit thicker. But I think it would be nice to have a little bit more body to it. This is awesome. All right, this was the one that I hand rolled. So when I was reading, it said sometimes they'll do a double bake. So I'm guessing this, they said they would then cut it in half and then bake it again so it got crispy. So I'm gonna try that in this next batch also. Sweetie, do you wanna try?
Yeah.
All right. Ooh. It's a nice shatter. This is still the 8 width. So this is the thin one. The other one is going to come out of the oven in just a minute. What do you think?
That's nice.
It's light, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be so good with hummus.
What is it used for? I mean, I would eat it straight like this, but...
No, I just kind of want it like this. You know what this actually looks, I don't know if you can probably see it on there, but it looks almost like a puff pastry kind of texture. It's cool.
Yeah, like if you toasted phyllo dough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so I think this other batch is ready. Here you go.
Thank you.
From off screen, I got little grabby fingers. Alright, let's see. Alright, so this is the one that I had cut in half and done. So it works if you're doing the hand rolled. It's nice. It's just very hot right now. Yeah, and this looks great too. So this was the 7. I'm just gonna let them cool off, and then they crisp up. So you don't want to leave them in the oven long enough that they are that they're completely crispy, because then they're going to be overdone. But when you take them out and let them cool, then the moisture that remains will come out of them, and they'll get that really crispy feeling. This is what happens if you try to crisp it all the way in the oven. But this was really fun. This is a cool one, and I think I'll keep making this one for, I don't know, charcuterie boards or whatever. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week.